tucked away deep in the heart of Wellow Park, or Wellow Wood, depending on your persuasion. There's lots of coppiced hazel, and if you look on the right stems of coppiced hazel, you may well find something like this. You also might find something else similar to this. What I'm featuring in this particular video is not only this fungus, which, if I remember right, is called hypoxylon, or it's a species of hypoxylon. Hypoxylon tends to grow on the dead stems, and very commonly, especially here at Wellow Park, it grows on the dead stems of coppiced hazel. If you search and find this particular fungus, you may well find something else. And back in 2019, if I remember right, in the February of 2019, I did find a stem not too far from this particular part of Wellow Park. I did find a stem of hazel that was infected by hypoxylon. I thought, as something came from the back of my memory, something that hadn't been used for a year or two, and to be honest, I don't know where I accrued it from, but it must have been just going through book after book after book on moths, and I remembered that there is a caterpillar that feeds on this hypoxylon and also burrows under the stem. It leaves characteristic sort of trails or feeding signs. Feeding signs like that there, and a larger one down there. I'll get you in closer, because these are the feeding signs of Nemopogon clematella, which is otherwise known as the black-barred fungus moth, or something silly like that. And this is the only place in Nottinghamshire that I found it. There are very few Nottinghamshire records of recent years, and it's taken me 6 years to re-find the chap that's in here again. And it will be coming home with me to rear it through, because I've never seen the adult moth. And this is the feeding sign of the larva of Nemopogon clematella, the black-barred fungus moth, as many like to refer to it as. Now, I've presumed that the larva lives just underneath the bark, but I'm not entirely convinced. But it feeds and goes from various growth of or fruiting bodies of hypoxylon and forms a gallery, and the gallery is lined with frass, or the caterpillar's droppings. But before I was starting to film this, I thought that the larva may well be underneath the bark, and I'm now thinking that maybe the caterpillar lives on the surface and that it spins a tube web of silk, and that the droppings and frass are fixed to that silken tube. I think this is a very fresh one, and the reason I think this is fresh is because there are both black and white droppings, the white droppings probably indicating fresh feeding. The moth flies during the summer. It is attracted to light. It's a species that I've never seen, and I'm hoping that there is a larva in here and I can rear it through to adult. This is not that easy to find. This is the only place I've ever found it, and it's took me 6 years of looking on the visits that I've made here for both the fruiting body of the hypoxylon and the larval signs of Nemopogon clematella. It's supposed to be, and is considered by most of the books to be, widespread, but there seems to be few records. And indeed there are probably fewer records of the immature stages than there are of the moth itself. From what I've read on the website, this record here from Wellow Park in 2019 and now 2025, and record from Broadholme from Martin Gray's garden, are the only modern records of the moth for Nottinghamshire. Whether it is very rare or uncommon in Nottinghamshire, I don't know. I would say that it's more likely that people aren't looking for these signs. That's a nice find, to find this. I'm really hoping that this one is occupied. I think it is, because of that fresh white frass. It would be really great to be able to rear this through and get to see the adult moth. But it's a species that you can look for. I'm sure your county micro recorder would welcome more records of this species. I know mine will be happy to receive another record. The only disappointing thing is it's not far from where I sent him the last one. Still, nice to know that the moth is still here, and it must be under recorded in all counties to a degree. But this is something again that you could go during the course of any winter and look for. There's all sorts out there to look for in the winter months. Although today doesn't feel at all like winter, it's a beautiful early spring day, ideal for looking for this.